What's up, everyone? I've done some soil test videos before, but being someone who's partially colorblind, they didn't go over that well because the test relied on the visual eye to determine what was wrong with the soil, and it was only a pH test. So picked up this kit from Soil Savvy, and it's kind of cool. It kind of works like one of those 23andMe kits where you like swab your cheek and you throw it in an envelope, and then it comes back and you find out you have like an extra niece or something like that. So this one's the same thing. What you do is, let's open it up. What you do is you fill the container with soil. I mean, it's a really simple kit. It's basically just this right here, this, and this. And this is a prepaid envelope. So it'll send it right back to Soil Savvy. And so I guess what we're gonna do is just figure out what's going on in one of my raised beds. This is one of the beds that didn't do so hot as far as potatoes go. Honestly, I still got 5 to 7 pounds of potatoes out of the bed, but I do want to check and make sure there's no severe nutrient deficiencies, either macro or micro. So we'll take this outside, pop it in the mail, and then in a couple days when it comes back, we'll analyze the results. Normally what you want to do if you're doing a soil test is, let's say you're doing in-ground and not this raised bed, you want to run around your property, grab a couple representative samples, put those in a jar or a Ziploc bag, shake those up, and then take the scoop. In this case, I just want to figure out what's going on in this particular bed. So I only need soil from this bed. What I've done is I've kind of raked it up and made sure, and I mixed it all together because I had different layers of mulch, etc. And so what we're gonna do is just take one level scoop right here, make sure I have no plant matter in there. We'll make sure we get a nice representative sample here. There we go. We're gonna very carefully open up our jar. We don't spill, we don't leave anything in there. And we're going to dump in this soil. Carefully close the jar. And really that's it for this part of the process. We have to fill out the info card, pop it in the mail, and we'll see what happens when we get it back. So I just filled out the customer care card or the laboratory submission card, and your personal information, where did you take the sample, what were you growing, what day did you take it, and then on the other side you've got your customer care card with your tracking number for the package, which I'm about to put together, and the barcode, so that when it actually is received and analyzed, you can log onto the website and check it out. So honestly, I haven't really tried this yet, but I'm pretty excited about it. I love this type of model where you send something in and the results just post online instead of having to go to a nursery and, doing that. And by the way, this is not a sponsored video, guys. This is just something that I'm testing out and sharing with you guys. So here's our package. We're gonna drop it in the mail, and then we'll snap our fingers and we'll be back with our soil test. 3, 2, 1.
All right, our soil tests are in. I've got both of them here. So here you can see kind of how it looks. I really like this model. It's really just like those 23andMe genetic tests, but for your soil. So here we go. This was our single raised bed with the potatoes, the ones that, again, looked a little bit light in nitrogen. And as you can see, look at this. Total N is well below the recommended range, where my phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, etc. are all within and well over the range, and all my trace nutrients are at the very least at the bottom of the range. So you can see, if you were to do a synthetic fertilizer, I'll be doing organic. You would do a 2100 at about 3/4 pound per 100 square feet. If you were doing an organic, which I will be doing, probably chicken manure, you're going to use a 1300 at a pound per 100 square feet. I've got about 12 square feet in this bed, so I'm just going to divide that out and we'll see exactly how much to do. It also says an additional micronutrient application may be beneficial, and the reason it's saying that is because I am trailing just on the low end on my trace nutrients, but for some reason you can see I should be around a 20 to 30 parts per million of nitrogen. I'm at a 4.6. I am drastically high on both my phosphorus and potassium, so I'm not going to be doing any feeding of that for quite some time to come. But now what I'm curious about, one last thing. We've got our pH, which is in that healthy sub 7, above about a 6-ish range. So we're at 6.69. Okay, let's go ahead and go to our second report. This was our hexagonal bed. You can see, again, another one of these weird issues. And this is a bed that actually I did not mix myself. This was a friend of mine who set this bed up because they wanted to test out their unit. You can see that it's quite low again in nitrogen. So there's something to do perhaps with the soil mix that I initially bought in, the 3 cubic yards that I bought in, were drastically high on almost everything else except for the pH is a little bit lower than I would like at about a 5.83, and the nitrogen's low. So how do we fix this one? It's the same problem, except for I'd also like to raise this pH just slightly while adding some chicken manure or another high nitrogen fertilizer. So I think this is a really cool, again, not sponsored, but this is a really cool way to do it. Just the model is so much nicer than sending it into a county extension agency or a nursery and then having it come back. And oftentimes, it doesn't really make as much sense as this type of layout does. So now let's figure out how to actually fix and amend these beds.
Okay, and this is the bed that we took our soil sample from that we found was really low in nitrogen. So what did I do? I went ahead and bought some feather meal, organic feather meal. It's a 1200, which is almost exactly what was recommended. Feather meal just happens to be extremely high in nitrogen. So I ended up putting about 3/4 of a cup sprinkled in throughout this new bed. You can see we've got some corn going, we have some eggplants, we have some onions with a little inner planting going on. And I'll do some future videos on corn and all these specific plants, but this video was really encouraging you guys to spend a little bit of money, a little bit of extra effort, and figure out exactly what's going on in your soil. Oftentimes I get a lot of questions about, hey, what's going on with my plant? Is it the water? Is it the light, etc.? Is it a nutrient deficiency? Certainly there are things you can do to detect a specific nutrient deficiency by sight, and I have a video on that. Honestly, if you're serious about growing your own food, I really recommend doing this. You can go to a local nursery and see if they have a connection. You could go to the county extension office, or you could use a kit like Soil Savvy. I happen to like them a lot. Not a sponsored video, I just really think that the model makes a lot of sense. So I would recommend you guys checking them out. Well, that's it for today's video, guys. If you liked it, subscribe, like, send this to a friend that might need to test their soil out. Maybe they're struggling in the garden and that could be the problem. And if you want some more tips like this, always feel free. The book's out. It's really cool. It's been out for about a month now. Field Guide to Urban Gardening by me, How to Grow Plants No Matter Where You Live. So it's all about doing it. I mean, look at me. I'm in the front yard in an urban lot in San Diego, mile from downtown. It's pretty urban. So if I can do it here, in fact, if I can even attempt to live off my own food here, then certainly you guys can do it, and this is a book to help you out. So feel free to check it out. Links in the description. Till next time, good luck in the garden, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one. Just a little teaser of what's coming up in the next video, guys. Boom!